يا أيها الناس قد جاءكم برهان من ربكم وأنزلنا إليكم نورا مبينا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. In this video, we will take a comparison of the rules of Nun Saakinah and Tanween. So Ibn al-Jazari says in his famous poem, وَحُكْمُ تَنْوِينٍ وَنُونٍ يُلْفَى إِظْهَارٌ إِدْغَامٌ وَقَلْبٌ إِخْفَى. The rules of Tanween and Noon are found in Idhar, Idgham, Qalb and Ikhfa. So we're going to compare the four rules of Nun Saakinah and Tanween. So we will compare Idhar, Idgham, Ikhfa and Qalb. So the linguistic meaning of each of them, Idhar means to make clear, Idgham means to merge or to assimilate, Ikhfa means to hide, and Qalb means to turn. So the letters of Idhar are the throat letters, Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha. The letters of Idgham, Ayarmalun, Ya, Ra, Mim, Lam, Waw, Noon. The letters of Qalb is one letter, the letter Ba, and if we take all of these letters out of the alphabet, everything else is Ikhfa. The reason of Idhar is that the Nun Saakinah is far away from these throat letters, so the reason is Taba'ud. So the makhraj of Nun Saakinah and Tanween is far away from the letters of the throat. The reason of Idgham is that the Nun Saakinah is near to the letters of Yarmalu, so near to Ya, Ra, Mim, Lam and Waw, and its Tamathul is near the same makhraj as Noon. So Noon and Noon are Tamathul, the same makhraj, and Noon Saakinah and Yarmalu are Taqarub. The reason of Ikhfa is that the makhraj of Nun Saakinah and the Ikhfa letters are neither Taba'ud, so neither far away, too far away, and neither Taqarub, neither too near. So therefore, for the Ikhfa letters, a middle way is taken. And the reason of Qalb is that the Nun Saakinah is difficult to pronounce when it's with a Ba, so the Noon is changed to a Mim. So due to difficulty in pronunciation, the Noon is changed to a Mim when followed by the letter Ba. So with Idhar, there is no Gunna. There's no Gunna of two harakat. With Idgham, we have Gunna for the letters Noon, Mim, Ya and Waw, and there is no Gunna for Lam and Ra. And for Ikhfa, there is always a Gunna. The Gunna will either be thick or thin. And for Qalb, there will always be Gunna as well. So for Idhar, Qalb and Ikhfa, the letter following the Nun Saakinah or Tanween will not have a Shadda. So there will be no Shadda on the second letter. Whereas in Idgham, the letters Noon, Mim, Ra and Lam will have a Shadda on. And the letters Waw and Ya will not have a Shadda. So remember, the sign of Shadda is complete Idgham. So Shadda will only be for the rule of Idgham, where we're merging the two letters. For the rule of Idhar, the Nun Saakinah will have a visible Sukoon sign, and the Tanween will not be sliding. For Idgham and Ikhfa, the Sukoon sign will not be visible on the Nun Saakinah, and the Tanween will be sliding. And for Qalb, the Sukoon will not be visible on the Nun Saakinah, and the Tanween will be sliding, and a small Mim will replace one of the Tanweens above the letter. So we have small Mim above the Noon, above the Tanween, to replace the Nun Sakinah of the Tanween into a Mim. In Qalb we have Ibdal of the Nun Sakinah into Mim. Whereas in Ikhfa, Idgham and Idhar we don't have Ibdal. There's no changing of the Nun Sakinah to a different letter. Idgham is always found between two words with a few exceptions. And Idhar, Ikhfa and Qalb can be found between two words and in one word. So now let's look at some practical examples to identify the 4 rules of Nun Saakinah and Tanween in the following examples. So here in Kalla la yunbadhanna we have the rule of Qalb. So you can see that the Nun Saakinah has a small Mim written above the Nun because the Nun has been changed into a Mim because it's followed by the letter Ba. So we have the rule of Qalb here. كلا لا ينبذن. So here we have a Tanween here, we have a Nun Sakinah here, so we need to identify 2 rules here. So in the first place, between the Tanween of the Ta marbuta and the Mim, we have Idgham Kamil with Gunna, Amanatan min, and on the Nun, because we have the Sukoon visible on the Nun Sakinah, this is a sign of Idhar Halqi. So Amanatan minhu. In the next example, we have 2 Nun Sakinahs here, and both Nun Sakinahs are empty, they're free from the sign of Sukoon. So in both places we have Ikhfa Haqiqi. In the first place we have Ikhfa Haqiqi with a light Gunna, and in the second place also we have Ikhfa Haqiqi with a light Gunna. وَلَن تُغْنِيَ عَنْكُمْ. So here we have a Tanween followed by the Lam. So this is Idgham Kamil without Gunna. فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. So in this example we can see there's a Nun Sakinah which is empty. So if it's followed by the letter Sin, we know that it's Ikhfa Haqiqi and the Gunna is light. فَإِذًا سَلَخَ. In the next example we have a Tanween here. So we need to identify what's happening here. So whenever the Tanween is followed by a Hamzatul Wasl, the Noon of the Tanween takes a Kasra. So we don't actually have any rule of Nun Saakinah and Tanween here because we have the Hamzatul Wasl in between the 2 letters, which prevents any kind of idgham or ikhfa. So here the Noon of Tanween will take a kasra. So we have وَأَمْوَالٌ اقْتَرَفْتُمُوهَا. Okay. Here we can see a Tanween here, and the student can also be asked to identify a rule of Nun Saakinah and Tanween between 2 words, even if there's an ayah in between. So you can see here there's a difference in the way of writing of the Tanween. This Tanween is not sliding and this Tanween is sliding. So in the first Tanween we have Idhar Halqi because it's not sliding and it's followed by a throat letter. And in this Tanween it's sliding and it's followed by the letter Ya, which is from the Idgham letter. So we have Idgham Naqis, incomplete Idgham with Gunna. So it's read فَبَشِّرْهُمْ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ يَوْمَ يُحْمَى. So here we have a Nun Sakinah here, followed by the letter Fa. So we have Ikhfa Haqiqi because the letter Fa is one of the letters of Ikhfa Haqiqi. And the Gunna will be light. And the Gunna will be pronounced near to the Makhraj of Fa. إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمُ انْفِرُوا. So in this example we want to identify the rule on this Tanween and the rule on this Tanween. So in the first place we have Idhar Halqi. So you can see the Tanween is written not sliding and it's followed by a throat letter. So we have the rule of Idhar Halqi. And if we were to join Surah An-Nur with Surah An-Naml, we have the Basmala in between, and therefore we have the rule of Qalb, where you can see that the Noon of Tanween has changed to a Mim. So we have a small Mim written replacing the noon of the tanween. So whenever you have the rule of qalb written on a tanween, you will never see the two harakas of the tanween. You will always see one haraka and the meme next to the tanween sign. So this is qalb. So this is how it would be read in continuation. Wallahu bikulli shay'in alimun bismillahir rahmanir rahim tasin. And remember, because from the rules of the basmala, we cannot read the last ayah of Surah An-Nur with the basmala and split it from the ayah it belongs to. So we have to join all three parts. We have to join the last ayah of Surah An-Nur, the basmala, and part of an ayah from Surah An-Naml. And on this rule here, we would have idgham kamil between the tanween and the meme, idgham kamil with gunna. So here we have the rule of noon. We have a Nun Saakinah rule here and a Nun Saakinah rule here. In both places, the noon has a visible sukoon sign. But in this place, the noon is followed by a throat letter, but in this place it's followed by a yarmalun letter, idgham letter. So here we have the rule of idhar halqi. And here this is the exception of idgham, where Nun Saakinah is followed by either the letters waw or ya in one word, and we have the rule of idhar mutlaq, where idhar has to be made absolutely clear on the Nun Saakinah when it's followed by the ya in this word or any other words of idhar mutlaq. So it will be read afaman assasa bunyanahu. So here we have a tanween here. And also you could be asked about the tanween here. So both tanweens look the same. So whenever the tanween looks like this in this shape, the rule will either be idgham or ikhfa. So we know in the first place that the tanween is followed by the letter ra, which is one of the letters of idgham. So here we have idgham kamil without gunna. And here in Surah Al-Anfal, the next word is فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. So it's a fa. So this would be between rahimun and فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. It would be the rule of ikhfa haqiqi. رَؤُوفُ الرَّحِيمِ. And here you can see again the tanween has been replaced. The noon of tanween has been replaced by a meme because it's followed by the letter ba. So we have the rule of qalb. طائفة بأنهم. I pray that you have benefited from today's lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
وأن أتلو القرآن فمن اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فقل إنما أنا من المنذرين.